I want to talk about Secrets of Strixhaven. Between the students in Lorwyn and the early previews that have been coming out, we have a decent amount to speculate on. As a quick rundown, Strixhaven is a magic school on the plane of Arcavios, made up of 5 colleges, each aligned to a different 2-color pair, and named after the elder dragon that founded it. Silverquill is the white-black college, focusing on the power of words, whether that's a warlock's contract, a cleric's oath, or a bard's poetry. Prismari is the blue-red college, teaching not just harnessing magic, but using creativity to turn it into something more. It's the art college of the school, showing us that there's more to magic than power. Previously, Prismari students were depicted as wizards and shamans, but as of Lorwyn Eclipsed, they've added sorcerer to the game as its own unique type, which we've seen on the Prismari cards revealed so far. Witherbloom is the black-green school, focusing on magical flora and the life, death, and rebirth of such things. They've historically been druids mostly, but occasionally warlocks as well. Lorehold is the red-white college, training clerics to study history and channel spirits of the past. And Quadrix is the blue-green college, teaching analytical magic, using math to extrapolate powerful results. It is the most wizardly of the colleges, but some students have also been depicted as druids. I really enjoy how Strixhaven isn't just a wizard school, but presents magic as something all forms of spellcasters can practice and grow stronger at. Too often, I see people treat magic as something that every caster except wizards just gets for free, with no need to practice. Using sorcerer as a type for Prismari especially works well to show this, because sorcerers are often depicted as spellcasters that don't need to learn how to access magic, they just have it within themselves. But Prismari shows us sorcerers that need to hone their creativity to actually do something with that power. Now, all that said, I doubt Strixhaven is going to actually be a set that cares about creature types. There was all of 1 card in the original Strixhaven set that made reference to any of the above types, and it just cared if you controlled any spellcaster from the list. So, what can we expect to see? Mechanically, the only cards we've seen at this time are the pre-con face commanders, which almost never relate to the main set archetypes, and 2 mythic rares, a Quandrix X spell, and one of the Elder Dragons featuring Miracle. Since Miracle is such a weird mechanic, I'm assuming this is just a cameo. Cameo mechanics are a relatively new thing in Magic, where an old mechanic is referenced on a single card in a new set as a fun homage that likely won't warp the game around itself, instead of being truly brought back as a main set mechanic. Other than that, it's likely the 2-colored pairs are going to play pretty similarly this time around as they did in the original Strixhaven. Quandrix playing with counters and maybe X spells, Lorehold making spirits and interacting with the graveyard, Silverquill dealing with loss of life, Witherbloom dealing with gaining life, and Prismari slinging spells and making treasures. Since that's all we have to go on for directly implied mechanics, this leads nicely into my hopes for Strixhaven. First, the Strixhaven dragons each featuring a different cameo. I don't think they've ever done a full cycle of different cameo mechanics, but it would be a really cool way to make the Elder Dragons feel unique, just like how we've seen Miracle on Lorehold. Last time, the Elder Dragons were all very strong and very cool, and I think they left their mark on Magic's history pretty nicely. It would be great to see them again, given a really cool Magic history homage. Now that I'm saying that, though, maybe it does make sense for Lorehold to be the only one that references an old Magic mechanic, as it is the history school. 2, all the kids, new and old. This isn't a hot take. They seated 5 new students in Lorwyn, and their pictures are all on the front of the box, so they're definitely showing up. We've even seen one of the kids, Tamira, quoted on an early preview card's flavor text. As for the older kids, it's already been revealed that each of them is getting their own pre-con, and honestly, I'm not sure what to think. It's great seeing them more grown up a few years later, but I'm not a fan of characters being depicted across multiple legendary creatures in the same set, and I include the associated commander set in that. So I don't really think I want to see them get additional main set cards if they're going to be the faces of the commander set. That said, we've already seen another teaser image showing them defending themselves from mage hunters, which feels like a main set card, so I'd be surprised if they don't have full cards in the main set too. Number 3, through the Omen Path characters making an appearance. Speaking of characters getting multiple distinct cards, Bio is a Lorehold instructor from Through the Omen Paths, not actually from the original Strixhaven set. Through the Omen Paths will only be 4 sets old when Strixhaven comes out, so it wouldn't make sense for them to get a reprint immediately, and I don't personally want to see them get a completely new card. But an instant or sorcery that refers to them, or even if they just sneak their way onto a card's flavor text, would make me really happy. Omenpeth also had the support of parents. These 2 moms are clearly cheering on their kid competing in the school sport Mage Tower. Again, I don't need a new card, but maybe we get to meet their kid, and they show up in the background of their card's art. Really, I just hope to see anything that acknowledges through the Omen Paths in paper. Number 4, more Mage Tower. Speaking of, Mage Tower is the sport they play at school to inspire a healthy competitive spirit among the colleges. In the Duskmourn story, Zimone, originally from Strixhaven, teams up with Tyvar and Nico, and it ends with all 3 of them taking an Omen Path to Strixhaven. Tyvar and Nico are directly stated as being excited to try Mage Towers, so I'm really hoping both of them show up in some capacity playing it. Number 5, mundane and leisure activity. In the same vein as Mage Tower, I want to see the students playing games and unwinding. Show me Quandrix kids playing cards at lunch, or Prismari students playing the Arcabios version of D&D. These are students, not soldiers. Let's get to see them have some fun. Number 6, this specific Owlin Professor. In Foundations, there were a number of cards that appeared to be set in Strixhaven, and this Owlin shows up on 2 different cards. I'm not 100% sure it's supposed to be the same character, but all of the art is so close that it seems likely that the differences are just artistic choices. They don't appear to have a name yet, and I want to see them get a full card. Number 7, the return of Demonstrate. Now we're getting into actual mechanical speculation. Demonstrate was a mechanic from the original Strixhaven that was only on a single cycle of cards. When you cast a spell with Demonstrate, you may choose an opponent to copy it. If you do, you also copy it. It was a really cool mechanic, and we've seen it show up here and there in Commander products, so I'm really hoping it'll become a main set mechanic this time. They could even reprint Silverquill Lecturer from Modern Horizons 3 Commander, although I really doubt that will happen. That said, Lorwyn Eclipse did have 2 cards that were the first standard reprints of Modern Horizons cards, so who knows. Number 8, Splice onto Lesson. I don't expect this even a little, but it would be such a cool way of bringing back Splice. For those who don't know, Splice was a mechanic from the original Kamigawa, and it wasn't returned to in Neon Dynasty. Spells with Splice say what kind of spell they can splice onto, originally only Arcane, which was a spell subtype that just existed for other cards to refer to. This is very similar to how the Lesson subtype, originally from Strixhaven, only exists for other cards to refer to. As you cast a spell of the specified type, you may reveal the Splice card and pay its cost to add its text to the spell. Splice onto Arcane mainly failed because of how narrow the pool of Arcane cards were, but between Strixhaven and Avatar, there might be enough Lesson cards that a return to Splice could be really cool. And I just really like the flavor of adding something extra to a lesson on the fly. And my final hope for the set is Secret Rendezvous as a legend. Secret Rendezvous is one of the most iconic cards from the original Strixhaven. Whether you love it or hate it, you probably know it, and the characters depicted on the card don't even have names. I'd love to see these characters either get a team-up card together, or better yet, they could be individual cards that have partner with. I know Wizards doesn't put partner with on standard cards, but I really think they should. Partner with is a mechanic originally designed for 2v2 play, where when the partner with card enters, target player gets to search their library for the listed partner and put it into their hand. For whatever reason, it was decided that this ability also lets them count as partners in Commander, albeit only with each other. Since then, it has been exclusively used as a commander mechanic, and as such, seems to be on the list of mechanics that can't go into a standard set. But Partner With isn't just a commander mechanic. The ability to search your deck for a card's other half would work really well in standard too, making it the perfect mechanic for making commander-relevant cards in a main set, which appears to be something Wizards wants to do, even if they avoid referencing Commander-exclusive mechanics. It's just such a perfect mechanic for bridging those two worlds, and I really think it should be used generally, not just for this one silly card idea. So those are my hopes for Strixhaven. It's gonna be a really cool set no matter what happens, but any of these showing up, well, I mean, some of them we know are showing up. We know the kids are gonna be there, but other than that, I'm gonna be excited. Have a good night, everyone. I've been Darcy Bits, and I'll catch you next time.